Hello, my name is Caden. This is Curtilage, your home defense network. Today's topic is castle doctrine and whether you can defend yourself inside or outside the house. This is going to be a little bit different for a lot of people. The technical term is curtilage. And what does that mean? And first of all, I want to say is that I am not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be. The information I'm giving you today is for information only. Consult your own attorney for greater clarification on your state and your scenario. The castle doctrine. Basically what the castle doctrine is that you don't have a duty to retreat within your abode, okay? And basically what that means is that you do not have to have a retreat consideration for that. You don't have to retreat out of your home upstairs into the bathroom. And according to Andrew Baranka, and this is my reference material right here, Andrew Baranka and Masad Ayub, every state in the Union has some level of the castle doctrine. But what we're going to be doing with it is giving it a little bit of a twist, okay? Obviously, this is going to be your house right here. Do you have the same protections under the castle doctrine that you do in your driveway, your porch, your yard, your barn or garage, okay? On a shed, on an outlining shed. Do you have the same castle doctrine considerations that you need to have when you're defending your life or great bodily harm? The answer is a qualifying yes. Now, there are certain states in the Union, and I'm in one of them, that there is going to be a little bit of a nuance to if you can defend your life using the castle doctrine on the outside of your home. Okay? Now, every state defines what makes up your castle doctrine a little bit differently. Massachusetts, they basically just say if you have four walls that you're living in, that's going to be your casa. Also, anything that provides shelter for you, a trapper's cabin, a tent. Um, I hesitate to say Winnebago because some states treat Winnebagos like a car and other states treat Winnebagos like your abode, okay? So a campground, that is why a lot of states will allow you to open carry at a campground, that kind of a scenario, okay? But this is something that you need to take a look at. And other states decide on the area around your home is part of your castle, referring to as the curtilage. The curtilage could be a front porch. It could be an outlining building. It can be the yard. So do you have a duty to retreat, or you fall back on your CCW training as far as the retreat consideration? Again, what we do is we have innocence, imminence, avoidance, reasonableness, and proportionality. Those are the five things that you need to take when you're out of your casa. Okay. So, in your state, if you are attacked in your yard, do you have a duty to retreat? Well, again, out of the 17 or so states, and far as I know at this given day, at this given time, there are 17 so-called duty to retreat states. The main ones that you really need to take a look at, if you live in Arkansas, Missouri, Maryland, and Ohio, they include the curtilage. So the castle doctrine, you are under your castle doctrine if you are in a yard, a separated garage or barn, a shed, a porch, if you're in this area somewhere, okay? Now, I would like to say to you people in California, it would only apply, I'm going to put a dotted line right here, if you have a fence in your front yard. So the public can't just go up in here and have access to you or your yard. So you would be able to open carry in your yard if you had a barrier like this. Okay, California has a different kind of a castle doctrine, a modified castle doctrine. Okay, um, but states like Massachusetts and Minnesota do not include the curtilage. Okay, they do not include that. So you probably heard the story of is that if you shoot an intruder on your porch, carry him into your home. You know, that's a stupid idea on so many different levels. It's ridiculous. However, you guys, when you're doing with the castle doctrine, when you're dealing with the 5 pillars that I was talking about, immediance, eminence, innocence, proportionality, avoidance, and reasonableness, when you're taking all those into consideration, if you live in Arkansas, Missouri, Maryland, Ohio, those are going to help you because those are states at this time are a duty to retreat. And however, Massachusetts, if you live in Massachusetts or Minnesota like I am, well, you're going to have to fall on the 5 pillars like I was telling you before. Okay. Now, the thing about it is I just got off of work. My hands are dirty, blah, blah, blah. I just got inundated with grease today. Let's just say this is a garage. The garage that is attached to your house, if someone goes in here and takes something, it's going to be burglary. If they go over here and take something out of the house, it's going to be theft. Okay. That is why we kind of separate the home, because it is a greater crime to go into your place of abode. All right, so that's why we have all these separated. So if you are standing here and you have individuals coming at you, the multiple threat, imminence, proportionality, duty to retreat. Let's say this is a stream over here. You can go into the barn. Depending on how cold it is, it's all going to depending on what? It's going to be depending on what state you are in. If you're in one of the states that you do not have a duty to retreat or a retreat consideration, game on. Okay. If you do live in a duty to retreat state and you are on your property, you may not have to retreat because of the castle doctrine. But if you can retreat, like into a barn, you are stupid not to make that consideration. Okay. So we talked a little bit about the castle doctrine. We talked about a little bit about curtilage. And I'm just going to wrap this up a little bit. Castle tutelage basically has your place of abode, a camping spot, some kind of a shelter that you're in. The castle doctrine applies to every state in some degree. Okay. The duty to retreat, all the duty to retreat means is that is going to be the weakest part of your defense, because any prosecutor, overzealous prosecutor, that is going to be the easiest link to debunk. Remember, out of the 5 pillars I was talking about, they only need to debunk one, and your whole self-defense immunity hearing or trial is going to be well behind the power curve. Now, what we're going to go over, what is curtilage? It's going to be the immediate outside area of your home. Now, is it going to be a field way up here? Some states, no. Okay, it's going to be in between the homes, in between your outbuilding. Okay, your porch, your patio, maybe your pool, the pool house. Okay, that all here is your curtilage, and depending on the state, it's going to be included. Again, those states are Arkansas, Missouri, Maryland, and Ohio. Minnesota and Massachusetts don't include this, and the other states is depending on the interpretation, where there isn't a black letter law concerning that. Okay. My name is Caden. This is Castle Tutelage, your home defense network. I hope this helps.